Hey YouTube fans, this Tycanders coming at you with another action figure review. Now this is something I picked up recently, and this is for the deluxe version of Nightwing from the Spinmasters Batman, I think it's Adventures of the Cape Crusader, I think it's called, is the subline. It's their basic deluxe version of Nightwing with his mega equipment or mega gear. So before I proceed with the figure, and before I proceed with the review, I just need to say that these reviews are intended for collectors age 13 and up, just to abide by the FTC and the COPA rules. If you are below that, then you probably need to get adult supervision to watch a video. So, basically, onto the box. So it gives you instructions on the bottom of the box of how to operate the thing. Spinmaster.com is the website for the manufacturer. You got an image at the side showing what it does. Now there's a card thing that was cramped in underneath here on the box. It just got squished to the side, which when I was putting the tray back in. And then flipping around the back of the box, it's very simple, plain, fairly plain box. Just shows an image of Nightwing. I think it's the prototype version, or it could be a computer renderer, because it does look a little bit different in person compared to the images on the back of the box. And it says Creature Chaos actually is up the top, so I'm assuming it's part of the Creature Chaos line. And then you got all the Warner Brothers stuff, all the Legalese stuff, and pretty much that's it for the box. You do have a big giant Batman logo on the top of the box as well. So it's fairly simple. It's a window style box packaging, so you can see the figure inside. So the figure is to this side, and the big backpack piece would be on this side. And the figure itself is pretty good. So I'll just disconnect him from his backpack, hopefully without setting it off and showing the gimmick. So the figure himself is a basic 4-inch figure. So if I just bring in my tape measure, you can see he is in the 4-inch, just 4-inch line. And just to see him stack with Batman, there is one of the Spin Master Batmans. In fact, I think this is also a deluxe version that came with a flight pack. And just bring in the tape measure again, you can see he's a tiny bit smaller just from the tips of the ears to Batman, but Batman pretty much is on par with him. Now, the proportions of these guys are a little bit cartoony, but that's beside the point. The head sculpt is quite nice. Paint apps are quite nice. The bird logo for Nightwing reminds me a lot of the animated version of him, the old 90s animated version of Nightwing, because I do have another version of Nightwing in 4-inch scale, which is this guy. And this is the one that came, he was part of the Mattel DC Multiverse line that came in a 2-pack, I think either with Killer Croc, or it was the one that came with Solomon Grundy. So you got him, a kind of half a jail cell, and the big creature. There was another set which I never picked up, which is the set that came with Clayface, which I must try and track down at some point. But you can see the design, the suit design between the two of them. The blues are a lot darker on the older one, and the bird logo looks a lot different. The suit design on this looks more tactical, whereas this looks more like a body sleeve kind of type thing. Then you have like the gloves. The blue goes all the way down the gloves on this one. You have actually blue paints on the legs as well. So just be wary that these are paint applications and not sculpted on detail, so you could end up with some paint rub if you're too rough with the figure. But for articulation wise, he's pretty much standard of all the Spin Master figures, with some exceptions being the larger creature characters tend to have slightly less articulation. So his head is on a swivel joint. Well, it's on a ball joint, but it can only swivel. You can't get a full 360 on it. His arms can raise up that much. Then rotate all the way around. You got a single joint in the elbow with a swivel. Nothing in the wrist, which is a bit of a disappointment for this line. I kind of wish there was a wrist swivel. It would be nice on these figures. Just for like characters to get two-handed poses with weapons and stuff. It's a lot harder to do so. He can do the split that much. So he has quite a range of movement on the hips. Can go kick forward that much. Kick back not so much because of the sculpt. There is nothing in the waist as well. The bodies on these guys all tend to be fairly one-piece solid sculpts compared to the other figure. The older one had a waist swivel. You have an upper thigh swivel on the leg. You also have a single jointed knee, and you have a rotation in that joint as well for the knee. Again, nothing in the ankles as with the wrists, so a little bit of disappointment. It is a little bit better than some of the larger figures that I've gotten, like Man-Bat, who has no leg articulation from the knee down, so he only has the hip articulation and that's it. And I think Clayface was the same, and I'm pretty sure Killer Croc uses a similar sculpt to Man-Bat, and they all seem to have some slight hindrance. So overall, he's a nice figure. He does have peg holes on the bottom of the feet, and he has a big hexagon shaped peg on his back, and that is where the backpack gimmick comes into play. So to put him into his backpack, I'll just show you the backpack quickly before putting him into it. So he has, it's basically a big robo arm thing, power arms with bladed tonfas. It would be cool if the smaller figure had these, or if these could detach to make smaller weapons for him, but he doesn't have those. So the gimmick is you push him onto his backpack. Now you have to kind of push him in a bit. He can hold joysticks. These are slightly gummy plastic. They're not as solid, so you can hold the controls for it. And then there is a button right here on the back. So when you're holding it and you press the buttons, his headpiece should line up. His arms flip around. Now the arms are on joints, but they don't actually hold in unless you have them back. So if I flip this back, you can see it locks into place because of this small tab here. So when you press that in, it releases it. So as you can hear it click into place and then swing into action. Again, what's interesting is you can actually lift up the headpiece and have this down. You don't have to have it the full way down, and then this should go down. If you push him on right and line up the head, it should fit down perfectly over his head. Or as I said, you can have just the headpiece up and put it down. It looks like it has a rebreather on it, and it has a sort of bat-shaped logo or bat-shaped design to it, which is interesting because, you know, Nightwing is supposed to have his own sort of gimmick and not the kind of bat motif as Batman does. But you can have him plug onto that, and he can, does have a piece at the back to give him extra stability when he's on it, so he will stand with it, and he will also stand when it's flipped around as well. So you can see him with his twirling baton type things, or tonfas I think they're called. So you can get some play value out of that, which is quite nice. And if you do have the other figure, that older DC Multiverse one, that one did come with tonfas. I know there is tonfas that come with the or this kind of stick weapons that come with the single card release version. I think that you get. I think you only get one though, and it's in multiple colors. So you have like bright greens, or I think there's clear ones and stuff like that. But he can hold the ones that came with this guy, and they look pretty nice with him because they are colored. They're actually painted as opposed to just a single plastic color. Because if I just bring Batman in here, you can see this is just a yellow color with no other paint apps. And here's one of the other Batman figures I have, the armored Batman, and you can see he has just neon green weapons, which is the way some of these weapons are being packed. They have like either bright colors, oranges, reds, yellows, that kind of thing, or blue in some cases, and they look nice, but they're very cartoonesque, and they look a little bit out of place if you're trying to get kind of more realistic looking look to the figures. And as I have them here, I might as well just showcase that you can fit Batman onto this thing. You just have to line up the peg hole with the hole on his cape as well. So just be careful. If you pull on it too much, you might actually pull that off. But you can get Batman and just get his arms onto the controller stick. Get his head lined up. You can get Batman into the thing, and it will, his head might be a little bit too much for it to fall down, but you can get the majority of this thing over him. In fact, I might try it with the other Batman, the non-battle suit or battle armor Batman, or is it tactical suit? I think it is. I actually have the black version here. This is the kind of standard release one. So if I just push him back onto that, align his head, see if that, nope, still not going to do that. So if I push him all the way back, see, yeah, it doesn't really fit Batman, unfortunately. Well, you can get it like this without the shield piece down, but he will be pretty tight on this thing, and you could stress the peg on it, so I would be careful with that. It is mainly designed for Nightwing, but you can at a pinch get Batman on it. So just to give a comparison, I'll get my Batman to stand up here. So bear with me a moment. I'll get my different types of Batman, and because I have him handy, the Joker from this line. I know there's another Joker apparently that has a black vest. I think it might be slightly darker purples as well. So you can see Nightwing together with some of the Batman. Looks quite good. And then for one other comparison, because I have it handy, this is the Bat Cycle that they did from Spinmaster. So if I move people back out of the way, the Bat Cycle came with yet another version of Batman, which is this one. And there's a few other Batman figures out there. There's one with a kind of helicopter backpack, and I think there is one that came with a remote control style version of the Batmobile, but I don't have either of those. And just, if you want, you can fit good old Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing, onto the Bat Cycle. So he does look quite nice on that. It would be nice to see if Spinmaster do like a either Robin style cycle, which is something I don't think any company has really ever tackled. I know there's been a few Robin style vehicles, but I don't think there was a cycle or motorcycle per se. And I would love to see them do maybe something for Joker, like a clown car, Joker car type thing. It would be pretty sweet. But overall, there has been a few vehicles for Jokers from different companies over the years, but something for this 4-inch scale line would be pretty nice. And then just because I have him to hand, move things again out of the way, I'll bring in a slightly more realistic Joker. So this is the, I want to say Arkham Knight or Arkham City. It's one of the Arkham Jokers, I think, that they released in the Multiverse line. So you can see him side by side with that. But overall, really good figure, really nice sculpting. I do recommend picking it up. It should be available now at the time of this recording. I'm not sure where you can get them easily enough. I have seen them up on Amazon. You might have to go eBay route with it, but that could be pricey. But Amazon, I think Amazon UK and Amazon.com should have this guy, and they should have some of the other deluxe sets as well. So there you go, guys. Quick video review for Nightwing from the Spinmaster line, and it's a very nice figure. I do recommend picking them up. So as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will try and get back to comments as they're left on the videos. Cheers, guys. Hope you enjoy this.